Ron.
Hey, Dee. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing super. I'll try not to take up too much of your time, but I got about 6 different subjects that I want to cover, if you don't mind.
And I've got them on a piece of paper in front of me, so we're all good.
Okay, well, I kind of added one to the list.
That's okay.
Okay, first one I want to talk about the HOH going 3 hours. We actually run it twice, Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 11. What was...
Oh, that's you guys. I just did 8 to 11. Awesome.
Yeah, what was with the decision to go 3 hours?
You know what? The 3 hours came, bottom line, by public demand. I mean, people love the 80s. They love the decade of decadence. They love the format of the show, and they love me. And so we upped the ante. But even more than that, it seems to be the timing. I mean, if you look on Broadway, the big hit show now, Rock of Ages. Everybody's talking about it. It is for the 80s what Grease was for the 50s, you know. And they just signed a deal for a $90 million motion picture. I'm in a new show out in Las Vegas called Monster Circus, which is an 80s all-star band at the Las Vegas Hilton. And, we're playing in the Elvis Presley Theater. All of a sudden, everybody's thinking about the 80s. So time has definitely come for more House of Hair.
Exactly. Not only music, but fashion as well. I got a request for you. Let's see if you remember these guys. How about the Electric Boys?
Electric Boys, all hips and lips.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Love that one.
Great band out of Sweden.
Yeah, great. M3 concert coming to the area May 30th in Washington at the Merriweather Post Pavilion.
Further proof that the 80s rules, and we're real excited because Twisted Sister plays about 20 shows a year. All 5 original guys, full-on, old-school, makeup, hair, costumes, just the way you remember it. But we don't do a lot of shows in the States. You know, we do festivals mostly. So we haven't been down that way, Maryland, in a long time. And, and getting to play with bands like Rat and all these great 80s bands, old friends of ours, it's going to be like old home week. And
you're going to be there with local boys Kicks.
Well, Kicks, they're the kings of your area. I mean, they are they're what Twisted Sister was to New Jersey and Long Island and Connecticut. Kicks is to D.C. and Maryland, So, and they're old friends. They're great as ever. I saw them last year. We were down in Texas. We did a show together. And I was so motivated I ran out on stage and started singing with them at some point. So,
yeah, we saw the YouTube video.
Oh, yeah, you're a great band, and like I said, old friends, so what a lineup for the M3 show. It's going to be great.
You also got a gig with Kicks, Rocklahoma, July 9th through the 12th.
Yeah, this has been going on for 3 years. The first time they announced Rocklahoma 3 years ago, people laughed. They said, 3 days, 30 hair bands. Who's going to come see that? Well, guess what? 35,000 people a day came to see that, and people's jaws were on the floor. And I just point out, House of Hair has been on for 12 years now. I just recorded my 603rd show. Now we started with 30 stations. Now we're on 220 in North and Central America. We saw the writing on the wall. We knew that people were going to yearn for the fun. I mean, the 80s, that whole larger-than-life, party till you puke, that whole thing. People want that back, and it's just evident in Rocklahoma, M3, 3 hours of House of Hair, Rock of Ages, Monster Circus. It's all happening.
I'm hearing rumblings of a reissue of Stay Hungry.
This year is the 25th anniversary of our biggest selling album, Stay Hungry, which did over 5 million units around the world, and we have remastered, remixed. We dug out, we found the original demo tapes. There's tons of new songs. I mean, J.J. French, who's a guitar player, also manages the band now. He called me up. He said, holy crap, I had written 25 songs for the album. We only recorded 10. So we're putting all the other 15 songs, and they're demo form, they're not finished. But still, he said, we could have done a whole another album. This stuff is great, So we got that. We've got just all sorts of extras on there that just the kind of stuff people want. And I believe that's coming out in June, 25th anniversary record.
25 years, man. Do you ever, do you see yourself a la Mick Jagger up on stage at, 63 still doing it?
I'm trying to get off stage, man. I'm telling you. I'm trying to get off. I can't believe I'm on here as much as I am right now. I mean, it just blows me away to be in my 50s. And not only am I up there, but I'm doing it Insanely. I mean, I thought I'd be dead, and I'm on the stage, full blown, like the whole regalia, and people's jaws are on the floor because I never thought the 50s would be like this. But, the truth is, it's not my goal in life. Mick and those guys, if you go back, you check their early interviews, they were in their 20s. They said they would be playing rock and roll till the day they died. Me, I just want to be a rock star. So as long as I can be a rock star, I'm good.
Well, that segues perfectly into, I guess, maybe your alter ego. You got a sequel to Strangeland.
Yeah, so we're gearing up to start filming Strangeland Disciple, which is the long-awaited, at least for me, long-awaited sequel to Strangeland. And we start in the fall shooting that. I'm in there. Robert Englund, who was in the first one, he is back in an even more significant role. His character was not happy with the way I treated him in the last one. Let's just put it that way. And I'm super excited. What a lot of people don't realize is that I pretty much invented the whole torture movie genre. Movies like Hostel and Saw got huge inspiration from Strangeland. Strangeland was the first movie where somebody wasn't killing people. I didn't kill anybody in the movie. I was just hurting people, which makes me even a little sicker, I think. And and so this movie, I feel that I'm obligated to regain my throne. So I promise the fans of Strangeland that it is darker and sicker and wilder than the first one. And you know what? We're doing a really cool thing. We're doing an open casting call for a lot of the extras roles and even some of the supporting roles.
Oh, really?
If you go to screentest.biz, B-I-Z, you can actually put in a photo or a video and audition. But we will be casting nationally on this movie. It's a publicity thing for sure. But I think it's a great opportunity for people. And we're looking for a lot of freaks. A lot of freaks. We got some. I got this one thing, Ron, called the Torture Garden. It's like the ultra darkest fetish S&M, body mod, like underground scene. So this place is gonna be packed, jammed with some freaky people. And so if you're that freaky, go to screentest.biz.
Yeah. When can we expect the movie?
Well, if we start filming in the fall, realistically, it's going to be for 2010 because we'll get editing and stuff. So, I'm not sure when it'll be in 2010 schedule-wise, but definitely 2010 release. What was
the primary inspiration behind the idea?
Well, the original Strangeland was there's two things. One was because I wrote this movie a very long time ago now. I was just sick of the lack of true horror icons. I guess I was watching Leprechaun 7 or Chucky 15 or something, and I literally started screaming. I go, what kind of crap is this? It's a damn doll. Step on it. It's a leprechaun. Kick the damn thing. They throw those things, don't they? And then I said, where the hell are the real scary people? And then I remembered I had a song called Captain Howdy on the Stay Hungry record, and who was supposed to be the sickest of the sick. And I said, wait a minute, I got a guy. And then I just put my mind to it. I had already been writing screenplays. I wrote the Twisted Sister videos. So I put my mind to it, and I wrote Strangeland. So, just inspired by the lack of really scary characters. And the fact is, it still goes on. I like the Saw franchise, but how scary is the dude in the bed on the IV? That's not scary. And the Scream, those pimply-faced teenagers, that's not scary. That's why they're bringing back Freddy and they're bringing back Jason and Michael, because the new guys just don't scare you. And Captain Howdy, I think he's pretty scary.
I think the new thriller movies are just that, just thrillers that are designed to shock, not necessarily, get you jumping out of your seat.
And I think that people like, and I think they also like icons. They like those characters that you wait for them to come back. You go way back to the beginning of horror, your Frankensteins and your Wolfmans and then your Freddys and Jasons. People want those identifiable characters. They already know their history. You don't got to explain them. They show up and you go, oh, dude, this guy's crazy. You know what he's about. And Captain Howdy, now with the first Strangeland, it's a very big cult horror film. People are aware now of what the movie is. When Captain Howdy shows up in this one, and people are going to go, oh no, he's not on his medication. You know what happens then? He goes crazy. He's definitely not medicated.
So I'm going to guess that none of the piercings were real.
Writing a movie about the world of body modification, I felt obliged to at least experience it. So I had my septum pierced and stretched. So I've got a pretty good-sized septum piercing, which I don't wear the ring, at social functions, but I still have the retainer in there that keeps the hole open. But other than that, everything else was special effects, and it would take 12 hours to get me ready to be Captain Howdy. So we would actually, I'm sorry, 10. I'm excited. Like that's much less.
Yeah, it's still a long time in makeup.
I would show up, at like midnight, and they would start doing my makeup, and then at noon, not noon, at 10 o'clock in the morning, we would start shooting, and then we would shoot for 12 hours, 16 hours. So I would be doing these insanely long days because there was so much, fake tattoo and piercings and brandings and all that stuff that had to go on. It took forever to get ready.
Kind of a serious note, and this is something that goes on pretty much countrywide. Bikers for Babies. How'd that thing get started? I understand it's something that's real close to you. Well,
March of Dimes works. Their focus of their work is premature birth and birth defects, and and 2 of my 4 children were born prematurely. Thank God they're both healthy, very healthy, but that's, not everybody is quite as lucky, and that's where the March of Dimes comes in. When they heard that my children were born prematurely and I ride motorcycles, they asked me, it was actually up in Connecticut, I was doing morning radio, they asked me if I'd like to be involved as a grand marshal for the March of Dimes Bikers for Babies ride. Well, after learning about the organization, one where 75 cents of every dollar actually goes to the research and the cause, and having such a great time at the event, I started doing more rides, started my own ride on Long Island, and I do about 4 or 5 rides in the Northeast now. And then March Dimes National last year asked me to be the national spokesperson for the Bikers for Babies through all over the country. So now I travel around to different states, different events, raising awareness, and supporting the rides. And it's a really great. I don't got to answer the phone. It's a really great cause, and people, and like I said, and the money goes to helping babies. And it's funny because I noticed that the motorcycle community, Ron, the most generous community.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, they are. I mean, they don't just show up for a Bikers for Babies ride on a Sunday. The next Sunday they're at another cause and another cause. But I noticed the common denominator is it's all for children or babies. And I think that's because we figure they haven't been screwed up yet, and we have hope for them. So we're thinking maybe they could be happier than we are. So anyway, the great community of riders.
Yeah, we got 2 rides close by. One happening August 22nd in Braxton County, West Virginia, which is just a couple of hours away. Another one October 11th in Maryland. It starts at the Maryland International Speedway in Mechanicsville. You're not going to be a part of that one, are you?
You know what? I don't have that on my schedule. I do ones I can. I travel around. It usually depends on my availability with other obligations that I have, because obviously I perform and I travel around and do a lot of things. So when I can, but I do. But I'm just encourage anybody in the motorcycle community. Not only is it a great cause, but it's a great event. It's the feeling of solidarity when you ride with several hundred or several thousand bikers, where some of these rides have. It's incredibly powerful, and it's a great statement. The biking community, there's an old saying, Ron. When we do something good, no one ever remembers. When we do something bad, they never forget.
Right.
And my goal as the national spokesperson is to champion the good work that the motorcycle community does and make sure people don't forget. I got a pretty big mouth, so I ain't gonna let them forget.
Bikersforbabies.org is the website. Dee, I certainly appreciate you taking time out.
Hey, man, it is a pleasure, and I love the station, love doing the House of Hair. I think it shows in my weekly enthusiasm.
Uh-huh.
I've been doing it for 12 years now, and I never sound less than excited. I am fired up. Thank you so much for your continued support of the House of Hair.
And if it ain't metal,
it's crap!
All righty, Dee, have a good one.
Hey, thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Bye-bye.